Big g'day and welcome to the Midland Express Sports Roundup for Tuesday, July 22nd. And needless to say, it's been a big weekend in sport, and especially when you're a Bombers man, enjoying a fantastic win on the weekend. But that was where some of the excitement had started over the course of the duration, or perhaps ended, because Kyneton's very own Jack Redpath played for the Western Bulldogs in his first home game in the AFL. Of course, he's played two previous games, but they've all been interstate, so it was a good chance for Kyneton fans to get a good look at him in the flesh and see how he's travelling. Did play reasonably well on the night against the Bombers. Had 6 touches, played in the ruck, kicked a very valuable goal. Great news for Unfortunately for the Red and Black got up by 7 points in what was a pretty good round, but it was nice to see Jack perform really well and had the tough job against Carl Hooker and several other key Essendon backmen. But the sport action really started way back on Saturday, where, we believe it, we're stunned. We had some sunshine, maybe a little bit of overcast, but most importantly, no rain, probably for the first weekend in a long time. But perhaps that might have coincided with the fact that we had about a 7 or 11 degree day on Friday, which is fantastic. Just warm up. Nice warm weekend. Now, as part of the Highlands FM team, we were out at a very big game on the weekend. We were down at the Eric Boardman Reserve as the Sunbury Kangaroos played the Rupertswood. Fantastic game of football. Rupertswood got up by 32 points. It was a really good game to watch. Very close up until the early stages of the final term before the Sharks kicked away. And of course, as you'll read through the Midland Express this week, we sort of touched on the horrific incidences with the flight on Friday, with the tragic loss of a couple of Sunbury residences. And at the end of the day, all clubs, I think, throughout the region did pay tribute with a minute's silence beforehand. I know the day that I was at, they paid tribute to paid a minute's silence for the 3 games of football. So this week we've created a little bit of history in the Midland Express. We had photos of 4 games. Unfortunately, we could only get 3 published, but such is the action-packed explosiveness of the sport this week. But heading down to Melbourne Central, Rockbank over at Ian Cowra Reserve on Sunday, which was great as part of NAIDOC week, and of course had a fair bit to do with the front page we had in The Guardian last week, so it was great to get down and see a bit of an Aboriginal dance beforehand, and also a cracking game of football. But speaking of cracking game, the Maryborough Castlemaine District Football Netball League has stepped it up a few notches on the weekend. Our great friend Donna Thomas for getting around and taking some great photos over at Newstead on the weekend, as they comfortably accounted for their opponents there in the Maryborough Rovers by 13 goals. A lot of question marks over the Kangaroos after missing a couple of star players, but a credit to them, they managed to find a way to keep on winning, and let's hope that continues at the business end of the year, because our local teams aren't very well represented in the MCDFNL up the top end of the ladder. But of course, it's full praise for the Bombers. There we go, Bombers again. Malden achieved their first win of the MCDFNL home and away season when they accounted for Denali on the weekend. Perhaps wasn't the most prettiest game of football, but it doesn't matter how you get the job done, as long as you get the 4 points. Hats off to the Bombers. Haven't premiers been able to get to that success in recent years, but no doubt they'll be up again in the near future in the coming seasons. Now, our other league, yes, we're very busy at the Midland Express sports team. We've got the Bendigo Football Netball League, bit of coverage across the board. We've got Gisborne, Castlemaine and Kyneton. Fantastic write-up this week on the other Kyneton Football Netball Club, the seniors, as they travelled up to Bendigo, and great work there by Laura Egan, who captured all the excitement there as well, and she does a good job getting into the huddles and capturing some of the audio there from the coach as well. So she does a really good job being a part of it there. Also, we've got a little bit of write-up there on Castlemaine, but perhaps one of the biggest weekends of the season. Doesn't matter what code it's in, what sport. We've got Gisborne. They defeated Golden Square in a memorable match. Now, not too many people go up to Golden Square and walk away with the 4 points. Gisborne, they did it the hard way. They trailed by 25 points at three-quarter time and kicked 5 goals to none in the final term to pinch a stunning 8-point victory. And Isaac Tricky kicking 3 goals was simply outstanding, but hats off to the Dogs. They all did a sensational job. So just to recap some of the netball sections in the Express this week, we'll have photos from Riddle v Lancefield. Of course, that was over at Goonawarra. That game was transferred Thursday afternoon last week, and rumour has it Riddle won't host another game during the home and away season this year, which is they've got another big one coming up in about 10 days time, Riddle v Rupo, which will be excited to be down there. That game probably will get moved, and of course Wooden Heskett prior warning there, well, we good to go. You would have read in the Guardian last week. Now, we're not always about football netball. We've got a rip-roaring edition of the Sulky Snippets, and Len Baker, a good friend of ours, has done a magnificent job. He's kept us up to date with all the excitement, so much in fact he was able to give us a bit of a report on Sunday as well. And don't forget, we've got Gisborne and we've got Kyneton Soccer. And thanks to Andrea Collins and the presidents and the committee down there for showing their utmost support and helping us get a bit more extra publicity for the Gisborne Soccer Club. Love the work they do down there, and they had a pretty disappointing round across the board, but no doubt they'll be bouncing back after a very successful round the previous week. Of course, Kyneton Soccer did a very good job on the weekend. Nice to see the coach, Nick Monsborough. He returned from his trip overseas. I believe he was over watching the World Cup soccer. He came back and had a very good performance in the Kyneton senior team as well. We can't forget this one. This is a big event for you to enjoy. We got the Campbells Creek Ladies' Day. Campbells Creek Football Netball Club, big day this weekend. And of course, it affects Trentham fans as well. Great to see Troy Adams, the Trentham Football Netball Club president, getting it out there on the social media, just reminding all the footy netball fans, make sure there is a Ladies' Day happening at Campbell's Creek this weekend. So nice to see the opposition club getting right behind it. Hopefully we see some Saints, hopefully we see some Campbell's Creek stars down there. The ladies, of course, getting a day that they much deserve. Well, that's it for me this week on the Midland Express Sports Roundup.